Andrew Mother effing Tate, what's not to say? This man has been a controversial figure over the last few years. It seems that this man has pushed out some ideas that a lot of people can agree with, but also pushed out equally so ideas that are quite controversial or people cannot necessarily agree with. So you get this great divide of people that are completely mixed around the opinions of Andrew Tate. And you start having a lot of debates and conversations about this man. And that is why at some point in time, he ended up even being the most Googled man on earth. It seems like everybody knows about this dude at this point, for good and also for the worse as well. This man has been primarily giving tips to the younger generation of men. It is true that Andrew Tate has brought up a lot of quality masculine traits from today's men. He even encourages men to be more stoic towards their emotions, to make sure that you can provide better value for yourself, for the people that you love. Heck, he really tries to empower the idea of trying to become the best version of yourself, to become the most valuable man that you can be for yourself and for others. Andrew Tate is like your uncle in that family that has a strong accent, does a lot of weird shenanigans on the side, and comes up to you, slaps you in the face, and says, "Hey, bro, what the hell are you doing?" Andrew Tate encourages men to not be complacent, to strive for more. And while these are positives, like, I'm not gonna come and lie to you, from all of the very interesting things that he said, there's actually a few things that he said that I actually agree with. A lot of time he says things with exaggeration, with a lot of satirical effect. So then it becomes pretty hard to understand exactly what he's trying to output in his message, and to distinct what is good from bad. Obviously, when you are a smart man or a smart woman, you will understand the good that can come from his message. As a role model, is you have to be incredibly careful of the choice of words that you use. You can't just come here and talk about a bunch of things and hoping that just one of those statements that you said are true or correct or can bring up good value to others. You have to be very careful of the choices of words you say. You have to be mindful of the lives of many. Now, as much as Andrew Tate has brought up some positives, honestly, there is a lot of negatives that he brought forth, even towards men. Yes, he encourages great masculine traits to come out of men, and that is amazing. But man, Andrew Tate unfortunately brought up so many negative masculine traits towards the people that are following him. Yes, Andrew Tate does talk about protection of women, to provide for them, and those are great things to have as a man. You want to make sure you want to provide for your loved ones, you want to protect them, that's great, but there's a lot of things that contradict this mindset. For starters, this man objectifies women. Women, yes, they should be protected, but they should not be treated like sex machines. And there's a lot of instances where he encourages this kind of behavior. There are literally videos where he suggests that man cheating is completely fine, but women should never cheat. There are videos where he is showing people that he's treating his woman like trash. He's literally encouraging all of his girls to have unhealthy attachment issues towards him, like play sort of like a manipulator puppets game towards girls, instead of being direct and treating them with kindness and providing for them while still staying firm and strong to your beliefs and not letting them control and stomp over you. This guy was taking things to the extreme and wanted absolute control over these women. That is the problem with hypermasculinity as well, having this absolute need of control. It comes mostly from a place of insecurity. Yes, it's good to obtain control fairly. You can do so by increasing your value, by actually having lots of things to offer. But when you gotta start playing manipulative games, that's when you're taking it too far. You should never stoop in this kind of level, and Andrew Tate somewhat encourages this kind of style when it comes to interacting with the other gender. He also encourages complete suppression of emotions. It's good to sometimes tackle challenges, especially when you don't feel like it, but it's equally important to sometimes show vulnerability to the right people, to ignore them and to still keep facing your challenges. It's not a good idea to bottle all of these emotions up in your mind. Like, yes, it's good to not let them get to you, but it's also horrible to let them consume you. And the more that you bottle those feelings up, the easier it is for them to consume you. And one thing that discredits him a lot as a role model to me is that this man just shows proudness of doing a bunch of instant gratification activities, hanging out with tons of girls, drinking, partying, smoking. Is what you really want to teach your man? Do you really want to go ahead and teach the younger generation that this is what they're supposed to strive for? That once they become successful, this is what success is? Success is about making a beautiful family. Success is about making the world a better place. Like, overall, I am not saying that everything this man has done has been horrible, has been wrong. Every single word that come out of his mouth is bad. I'm just saying that this man should be a lot more careful on what kind of messages that he is outputting to the media. It seems that this man has been a bit more careful, but the effects can be sometimes irreversible. Like, I am trying to make sure that whatever video that I come up with, for example, I'm very careful about the things that I'm saying. I do not want to end up just pointing out garbage onto my channel just so I can get more views. I want to make sure that the things that I output on my channel, like the tips and advice that I say, can actually bring good value to you guys. That's one thing that some social media influencers don't keep into consideration. They're focusing so much about getting attention. Oh, I need to just get attention somehow. I just need to be right there, front and center on the spotlight. I want my name to be a point of discussion everywhere around the world. And yeah, I mean, you could argue that this man did bring some good to women. Like, if we really want to talk about the positives before delving into the negatives, since he did expose some of the good masculine traits that women do desire, well, there are more men that could inhabit these good quality masculine traits, and thus it will allow women to become more feminine in theory, because of these quality masculine traits that are now inhibited in men. And he does promote physical fitness for both men and women. So now here's the problem. For every good thing that this man brings into the table, there are a few other questionable statements that might bring a little bit of negativity. And I can say that women have been greatly affected by all of this discussion that's been going on around Andrew Tate. You'll usually see a bunch of guys praising the man, saying, yeah, man, this guy woke me up. This guy has done so much good for me. This guy has actually brought out the best in me. I feel more like a man now. But now women, on the other hand, don't feel the same way. You'll usually have a conversation with women, and a lot of times they'll feel pretty uncomfortable talking about this man. And I think the root of the problem comes from the fact that Andrew Tate really focuses a lot on the man's interest. There are a lot of women out there that are just looking for the interest of themselves and girls. It doesn't matter if it's the expense of the man. What they care about is really protecting themselves as much as possible. They try to take literally all the value that they can and bring it to their gender. And that's really bad, because man and woman are meant to be connected together. They're meant to strive together. We should not be hating on each other. We should really try to make ends meet, to make a happy life together. Andrew Tate's talks can really undermine the confidence and self-worth of women. The way he objectifies women, really focuses a lot on their value in terms of beauty, about the importance of their worth, of their value being centered towards their physical appearance, can really harm a lot of the value that women can output. Women can do a lot of great things other than just looking great. Andrew Tate's dismissal of women's experiences can invalidate the perspectives of women who have faced lots of discrimination, harassment, violence, or any other kind of struggles that they go through from their day-to-day life. And like I said earlier, Andrew Tate really does encourage a little bit of manipulation in games when talking towards the opposite gender. Rather than having a more trustworthy relationship with them, it's all about playing things at a certain way. And it shouldn't be that way. Like, this man has literally showed a talk of some kind, right? Like, he was looking at his phone and he's just sending a bunch of random messages to girls and like the same text to every single one of them. Like, as if, oh, this guy is a guy that has no time to waste, no personalized messages or anything. He doesn't really care about the girls that he's talking to. And this guy's like proud of it, proud of just treating women as if like they are just meant for fun, meant for just a one night stand. And in turn, obviously, for a woman to be feminine, she needs to have a masculine role model that she can really look up to and really trust. It does not allow women to be comfortable on trusting men, because a lot of these men are following Andrew Tate. And you might be wondering, oh, why is this guy getting so many girls and whatnot? He's so famous and he's getting so much money and girls, so I could follow him and become like him. This man gets a lot of women for a couple of good reasons. Obviously, he's rich, he's successful, he can get abundance of women if he wants to. But of course, he will not get the kind of woman that he should be getting, but he gets women nonetheless. Now, obviously, I think Andrew Tate is a very smart man. If he's going to dedicate a very serious relationship with a woman, I don't think that the majority of the advice and tips that he's outputting really can be applied to a actual relationship. A lot of these tips that he's giving out is mostly for one night stand or just having an abundance of girls. I like to give the benefit of the doubt and hopefully think that he's treating his actual wives or whatnot in the way that they deserve, and that he's a good masculine father role model for his children, despite all the satirical statements he's been outputting over social media. So now, does this man really deserve to be cancelled, completely cut off of social media? Honestly, there are people who do superbly worse things than this man. And I like to think that not everything he's done is completely bad. I don't fully know the man, and at the end of the day, he is just a role model. He's just outputting a persona of some kind to just deliver a certain message. This man could be a completely different person in real life. But what he has been outputting as his persona hasn't been really great towards both men and women. especially women, I want you to really sympathize. Whenever you come to a discussion with a woman about Andrew Tate, really be mindful of these things that I've just said when it comes to talking about masculine role models on the internet. Andrew Tate isn't the only person really promoting these kinds of messages. You see them all around the world. You see a lot of people on YouTube or on Instagram or any kind of social media that are promoting pretty much the same ideas. So be considerate about girls' feelings. Again, they go through different struggles than the ones we go through. So yes, do take the good messages if you can from this man. He has said some positive things, I'm not gonna lie, that can bring some good value towards men. And maybe I could be wrong, he might have brought up some good value towards women as well. If you're looking for a great masculine role model, you've got abundance of them that existed even hundreds of years ago. If you look at any religious book, you'll find great examples of amazing prophets that have basically shown us exactly how to be a great man. While these incredible men have been doing the impossible, they have still treated their wives with so much respect. While they provide for their women, they have still done great housework to help them out. They still make sure to treat them with absolute kindness. They do not look at them like second class. And even though we're talking about these men that have done amazing, incredible things, they still stay humble. They bring absolutely amazing value, but they still are conscious of the fact that they are still human, that they have weaknesses, they have limitations. If you really want to follow a good role model, I myself am Muslim, and the prophets that have been introduced to us in our Islamic religion are incredible people. And honestly, I just strive to be as great as they were. But sadly, I do understand that in this day and age, you're looking for some inspiration, you're looking for some motivation, you're looking for some guidance. Or maybe you might not have a good masculine role model with you. And sometimes that's true. It could cause some struggles towards men. Sometimes I do understand that we need that role model that is present in this day and age. And I'm not going to tell you which role models to pick. That is for you to decide. But one tip I will advise you, and even with me, even if you consider me a role model of some kind, you want to make sure you grab the words that are spoken and really think about them. Don't just blindly follow. Really think about the consequences that can arise when you take those advice into consideration. In the end, you're never going to be perfect, and whoever you're following is not perfect either. I might say some things that are absolutely wrong. Who knows? But you got to remember all kinds of people that exist around the world, and be mindful that not every advice applies to everybody, especially when we're talking about men versus women. There's a lot of different struggles that we both go through despite both of us being human. So in the end, I just hope that you've gained a lot of perspective around this video. Out of all the videos I've recorded, I think this might be one of my most controversial one perhaps. So honestly, I'm pretty curious. Like, I don't think I'm absolutely right about everything. I don't want to think so. I actually want to spark up some conversations. Please, like, if you think you disagree with anything, you know, as a man, as a woman, please send it to me through the comments. Like, send me anything, send me a message, anything. I actually want to talk to you if there's sincerely something wrong that I said throughout this video. I'm human. I'm not going to output all of the best answers right off the bat. So yeah, let me know what you think about this video. And honestly, this was an interesting one to record. But yeah, that's it for me, everybody. Take good care of yourselves, and remember to keep your life exciting.